so I can go in the big town and check this out. I'm gonna take a whole. I'm gonna get a whole. You got speed bumps and so far. I'm gonna get we going. I'll be back. That's what I've been talking about for years, man. Look, put it this way. Check it out. Cone of silence where nobody's around listening to us. We don't listen to me camera.
Right. The railroad was stuck to the track and it's been out there so long. It didn't used to be water there, but water's coming through there. Matter of fact, you can drink the water. It's cheap if you want to drink the water. No racks and there's no more racks and all that. I know how you kill that problem. It's the simplest thing. If you get a soda, you can give all the gas a nice little bit. Because they can't bring wind and they can't fall. And they can't travel, they can't fall. They die. Look, they swell up, they die. But don't nobody know that. I know. You got me? Money? Huh? Look. Think on that, man. Look, it's been good. Look, I trust you. Now, you know how much trust you been saying? You always been straight. Hey.
Until I see you again. Until I see you again.
It's been killing me, man.
No, don't let it kill you.
I know you have a lot
Let it kill you. What time? Did you get the email? Huh? All right.
JP, brother, they want to speak to you right quick.
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, it's been my privilege to hear the last couple of broadcasts. I don't get to hear it every week.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I'm going to be working this coming year to try to publicize and eventually get yesterday ranked choice voting. Because right now the system is set up to the privilege of the duopoly parties.
Right.
Republicans and Democrats and blue state and red state. But ranked choice voting, voters can rank their candidates, and if they're a third-party candidate, it's not one of the top vote getters, and the vote still counts for the Democrat and whoever they want to vote for, so it's not wasted. And
Okay.
they don't have that excuse of saying that some other party diluted their vote.
You're gonna have to come and talk about that. Is that got to go through the legislature or something? Because I know that they're knocking out straight party voting, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to go into effect now?
Some states and some municipalities have ranked choice voting already. So, I'll tell you more about it later.
All right, we'll do that.
Thank you, brother.
7:15.
I don't know. I don't know. Where's Darnell? When did we get started?
It's 7:15, Tom. He
Huh?
told me 7:15.
What?
You have somebody sitting in here 7:15.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Who said that? I don't see no email, nothing. Hold on. We find out what the hell she talking about. Because she said she sent me, so oh, here it is. Deloitte, Kofi, NOI representative. Hell, I'm the NOI representative. Ali Muhammad, Brother Clark. You know that this brother here. There's my right hand. How you doing, Queen? I missed you today.
I've been working, man.
I was at the office. I looked, turned around, looked, around the corner, I looked, and you wasn't sitting at the corner laughing at me.
My family came in from Los
They-
Angeles. They just left.
Oh, really?
So my cousin wanted me to let you know to agree. I was trying to get them to come around here, but they got arrested and they're leaving tomorrow.
They driving?
Yes, sir.
They got to drive through a snowstorm, weren't they? What's up, Zeke? So where's Z? She got work? Like cutting Siamese twins away, right? So I seen your film about the Dress for Success. You ain't bring your stuff?
No, I didn't bring it today. You don't have to say it.
She ain't gonna immortalize me. Why she do me that?
You gotta make sure you're on top of your game. Every time you roll out, you gotta have it. Oh, okay.
We're gonna do that like we did in LA. We gotta do a part 2.
Okay.
All right, well, Donna, Sonia, all of them, they out there. But come back and see me now before you leave.
Yes, sir. I was able to get in touch with everybody except the turkey leg had. I couldn't get in touch with them.
No?
No, Sister Helen was trying to. She said she was going to go up there, but I haven't heard anything from her in the last couple of days.
So you called them on their cell number? Did I give you a cell? You text them too?
I meant to try to go around there today because they were closed. They closed early yesterday.
So how you doing? You know I'm feeling guilty, man. 'Cause I let us run out of money before the year was out.
Next time that, I mean, it's what it is. It's contract work. The only thing that I was telling their brother Eric is that he should have let us know when the last check was. I asked him before I moved because I want to move in that house. And,
Maybe 8:30 go back.
you know, that was the only thing I could have been better to see. But no, I mean, that's the contract work. And I did contract work for myself for 6 years. So I know how to do it.
Damn, you're a damn soldier, man.
I'm trying to be by the rest of
No, you're a soldier. No. Here's to you.
This is my life.
Yes, I didn't get that
Trying to live the best I can.
This is a life that we chose, huh?
for Saturday, but I didn't get it for
But next year, 2020, the year of reaping. I'm done a lot of sowing this time to reap.
Okay, so you and everybody here.
All right. Good.
Yeah, something like
Malek Islam, Muslim, Islam. Well,
hey, I'm just coming through. I'm just coming through. you know, and I didn't even know this was going on, so I know about Saturday. But then y'all go live. I know about Saturday, but I didn't know about tonight. OG1 called me.
oh, okay.
Everybody told me how you feel the rest of the thing. So, I'm gonna take the walk around the rest of the y'all leave and y'all,
So let me know when we go hot. Put on your earphones, brother. Check one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you hear it, Kof?
I can hear him one end.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Pull up a little closer, man. Yeah.
What's up, brother Ali Muhammad?
Check one. We got you in the lineup, brother. Where Clark at? And get the Lloyd.
We're going to have some black robotics and stuff you like.
Oh, yeah?
I'm trying to find that meme of the brother from The Living Color. I'm going to put it out there and say, this is Dr. Abdul Halim, and he read all them books.
Oh, Lord. Huh? On 5?
What's up, brother Ali?
Habari Ghani and Assalamu Alaikum. Habari Ghani is what's the news? Umoja, unity. We're here at the Third Ward Multipurpose Center, 3611 Ennis, and this is the first night of Kwanzaa here in Houston, Texas. I'm Brother Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad. I'm the host of Connect the Dots, and of course my producer and co-host, Akua Holt, is at KPFT, holding it down at the little radio station that could. We're going live as we have over the last few years for the first night of Kwanzaa here at the Third Ward Multipurpose Center. There's plenty of room, plenty of vendors. The program is just getting ready to begin. The drummers are drumming. The people are excited. The energy is really thick here, and we're looking forward to you coming out and being with us. Right now I have the honor and privilege of being on these sacred airwaves and on the microphone with, of course, my good friend, my companion, my comrade in struggle, my brother, my friend, Brother Kofi Tahaka. He is the national chairman of the National Black United Front, and of course, the National Black United Front Houston will be hosting Kujichagulia Kwanzaa celebration, Black to the Future, which, of course, will begin on Friday, on tomorrow, December the 27th. Brother Kofi, Habari Ghani, my brother.
Black Power.
Black Power.
Black Power is always the news, and Umoja is the news for the day. Unity. It's a great honor and privilege to be with you again this year, Brother Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, my brother.
Well, you know, we've been through a lot, brother. I was looking through the Million Man March mission statement. And, of course, we participated in and organized and were inside. We're like the inside man, like Denzel Washington. We're the inside man from our respective perspectives. Of course, me being with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you being with the then National Chairman and Chairman Emeritus, Dr. Conrad Worrell, as the meeting with all of the officials of Washington, D.C., and, of course,
sir.
you being a native of Southeast Washington, D.C.
The Southeast crew.
Southeast crew. But in the mission statement, it had the Nguzo Saba, which are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, which we should really be living out every day of the year, not just these 7 days. But talk about, and we want you to end up talking about Black to the Future, the Kujichagulia Kwanzaa celebration, which will take place tomorrow, and what we should expect at the Shrine of Black Madonna. But let's do a little reminiscing, brother, and as we are right now, looking forward to having our youth being with us and seeing actually this evolution of Kwanzaa from just being at Shape Center over on Live Oak, where we had buckets collecting rainwater when it rained, and a few vendors and just a few of us that were over there. And now look at this, a citywide celebration, brother. So let's do a little memory lane. Right now.
Dr. Abdul Halim, I've really been thinking a lot about the state of our movement, the state of our people as we enter into 2020. and how yourself and myself on different levels have been the benefactors of the 1960s liberation movement and the explosion of ideas and activism and formations and historical events that took place there. But as I'm looking at it, Dr. Abdul Halim, it seems as though that time, what's that song? Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping.
Into
And it's
the
like,
future.
I like, are we living off of those fumes of that movement with all of this creativity? And what brings that to mind is that if you look at the decade of the 60s, throughout this decade, we've been celebrating 50ths. The 50th this, some good, some bad, some creative, like Kwanzaa being created in 66, and many different groups being created. So we've been honoring those benchmarks of 50 years, and I'm wondering, are we allowing that great creative period, that great activist period, that great organizing period, is it slipping? Are we making the connection to those who, have we been good stewards? And I didn't even know, being a child of the 70s, that I was being a benefactor of it. But in retrospect, in looking at it, then these are things that I've been thinking about, because every time we turn around, we're seeing the 50th anniversary of this,
Right.
the 50th anniversary of that. And of course, the Great Shape Community Center and this year has been celebrating its 50th anniversary. So we've been looking at that, thinking about it, doing some spiritual work around it to see how we can ensure that we're a good link in the chain. And that kind of leads us to tomorrow night, which will be Kuji Chakalia Self-Determination, our night of the shrine at 7 p.m. Because we were saying, look, we know that they took the drum away from us.
Right.
They took a lot of parts of our culture away from us. And a part of Kwanzaa being a cultural celebration helps us to reconnect to that.
Right.
But also, where will we be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now? And how will we mold in this digital age, in this social media age, all of this innovation and technology and make it rooted with our principles and traditions? So we're going to be having some very special guests from some of the independent schools, some of the African-centered schools, some of the people talking about things that you love, like robotics and technology. They'll be having displays there, that people, interactive displays where people can come and interact. So we can answer this question: where will African people be with this explosion of technology and us trying to reconnect and hold on to elements of our culture? That's why we call it Black to the Future. And that's 7 p.m. Drum call at 6:30. Market begins at 5. Program begins at 7. And we will have vendors, and there's still some vending space out. So, man, I'm fired up going, out of this year into 2020, bro.
Well, I look at it, 2020 vision is supposed to be perfect vision. And I just believe that, I have personally dubbed this year the year of reaping. We've done a lot of sowing, brother. And as you said, we are reaping the benefits of those who have sown struggle before. And our job is to not only to reap those benefits, but also to sow new seeds so that the generation that follows us won't be left behind on the automation and information plantation. So I think it is important that we do utilize the technology that is necessary to move us into the 22nd century and not get left behind. Because in truth, technology can collapse time and space. So a lot of things that used to take us a long time to do, we can get done in a shorter period of time. But it also has a dark side to it, where we have to be aware of that, because anything that the enemy creates, which we think is good, oftentimes can be manipulated for our own destruction. I'll give you an example. On Facebook, as people are getting into this political season, of the 2020 political season, they're looking at it from a standpoint of Republican, Democrat, maybe independent parties,
And they're blaming the Russians for doing this, that, and the other. But understand that there are the intelligence services of the United States, of Great Britain, of Israel, that in fact sit up in a basement or in a bunker or in some places and actually pretend like they're us and have us going back and forth one against another.
Check that.
You know?
Well, you know, you said something, Dr. Abdul Halim. You mentioned the Million Man March.
Right.
And I think also I've been thinking a lot about how our mobilizing and organizing has changed. We're coming up on, 24 years, right? And how with the digital age, with social media, just things have, in those 20 years, have changed from us standing on corners with flyers or something. We still do some of that, but how the whole marketing, how the whole coalescing has changed. And I wanted to mention this on the night of Umoja. And this is a profound lesson that I got in a speech from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And it had to do with when he and Dr. Betty Shabazz were speaking at the Apollo Theater. And we know that there's been a wound, if you will, a fracture, a sore, but in our community over Minister Malcolm X, his assassination, the Nation of Islam, all of that. Well, Minister Farrakhan said this that I thought was really deep, and I pondered it for many years. He said, look, these Europeans have gone to war and spilled much blood between nations, but they will come back together and sit down and talk to each other, have détente.
Right.
But people will tell us if we have any small degree of difficulty, of contradiction or conflict within our community, that we should not sit down and talk with each other. And I thought that was really set a certain tone. That was a very historic night, not just for with what the minister said or what Dr. Betty Shabazz said, but there was a whole lot of movement people there. But I thought that was really profound in putting things in perspective for us when we talk about Umoja, when we talk about unity, and how we'll say, well, I can't deal with that brother, the Nation of Islam, or this person stepped on my shoe, or all of these things. Right. And he said, man, these people then banged it out and spilled much blood, and we'll sit down and talk.
Dropped atomic bombs on one another.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, brother, and trench warfare. I when I visited Kansas City, there is the only World War I museum. Actually, the National World War I Museum is in Kansas City. It's a big facility. Brother, them people slaughtered each other. Trench warfare, gas, bombs that they use, machine guns, and the new technology going into the 20th century. These people slaughtered each other, brother. Mm-hmm. But yet, they sat down and tried to form a League of Nations. Eventually, World War II broke out. Then they come out with the United Nations. But you got to really, and yet you and I are not supposed to sit down one another because we got some kind of ideological beef. And really, this is somebody else's blood. We ain't shed each other's blood.
Right.
But it's people that we loved. Mm-hmm. Either their blood was shed or the ones that we love was accused of shedding their blood. When there's always this third party. So Umoja is unity, and that's what we're about. So tomorrow night, at the Shrine of Black Madonna, that's at 5309 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, at 7 o'clock. Now, the marketplace will take place from 5 to 9 p.m. Drum call will begin at 6:30. The ceremony and the fun will begin from 7 to 9 p.m. So bring money for food and vendors. We're not saying a price, so it doesn't break KPFT's law. But for vending information, you can call 832-671-1830. That's 832-671-1830. Or email nbuffhouston@gmail.com. So come on out, brothers and sisters, and make sure
Can I
that
say this last thing, Doc?
You may.
I just want to say in closing out 2019 and moving into 2020, we want to remember those very, very strong brothers and sisters who made their transition this year.
Please.
I think about Elder Jean Wilkins Denver,
Lord.
Mother Denver, who made her transition. I think about our strong brother out of the 5th Ward, Revolutionary Brother Omawale Kefin. One person that will participate in Kwanzaa ladders, Baba Abubakar, the great drummer, he made his transition. And then our revolutionary brother, member of the original Black Panther Party, Brother Varon Sensei Benton. Those are like 4 people, but I'm sure that there are others, is to reflect on just solid brothers and sisters who contributed to our community. So we look forward to lifting them up tomorrow night and going into we going hard in 2020.
Oh, that's
we
good.
on the build, brother. We on that build. I ain't gonna talk about it, but we about building.
This is the year of reaping, brother.
Yes, sir.
We done some sowing. It's time for us to reap and then sow again. So thank you, everyone. We're going to go back to the studio. We're going back to a corner. No, we're going to stay right here. Okay, we're going to stay right here. My producer, Donnell, said we're going to stay right here, coming up with our next guest. Again, remember, go to shape.org, and you can get the whole schedule of Kwanzaa. So coming up, we want to talk about this Black History 365 lecture series, The Roots of Slavery, White Supremacy, and Capitalism, featuring Dr. Gerald Horn, the esteemed scholar and activist, author, attorney, and historian. Sunday, February the 9th, 2019, 5 to 7 p.m. That'll be at Shape Community Center, 3903 Alameda Road, and that's going to take place, of course, on February the 9th, Sunday, February the 9th. So joining us right now is we have, of course, put your earphones on, those of you out there. And I'm so honored, as always, to have someone who is my sister in struggle. And when it comes to being on what we call on the grind, as it comes to the Texas death penalty, and this execution machine in Huntsville, I can't think of anyone more symbolic, emblematic. Her voice still rings in my head on the day that Shaka Sankofa was executed. I can still hear her over that loudspeaker. And I'm talking about Gloria Rubeck. And with us we have, looks like we got some youth. We're passing it down.
Yes.
And we've got a youth here, but I've got Gloria Rubeck here with me. And let's talk about everything, Mumia, whatever, where we want to go, executions that are scheduled, those who have been executed, those who have been exonerated and relieved not only from death row, Glo, but from life sentences and other things that because of the science and the technology. And I want you to introduce a young one that's we're gonna pass the baton to in this struggle. Go ahead.
Well, I'll introduce Trey. Trey actually met us at Kwanzaa last year.
Okay.
A year to date.
All right. So this microphone, is this one hot, please? Okay, go ahead. Speak, Trey.
Oh no, I was just saying it was actually a year to date from today.
Yeah.
Last year that I met Gloria. So.
This
honored
has
to be
been
here.
a good year and a bad year.
Okay.
Once again, executions are down, but once again, Texas is leading the pack. So things are happening. We're up to 100 and I think 65 or more people that have been exonerated. That's just death row. And there was a lot of executions set this year, and a lot of them didn't happen, so that was exciting. Patrick Murphy he's a Buddhist, and he wanted his spiritual advisor with him. They wouldn't allow it. So what did they do? They said, okay, nobody can have a spiritual advisor. Just showing their ignorance. Randy Halpern, and actually Randy and Patrick are law parties peoples. Randy got to stay as well. I hope that holds up. Ruben Gutierrez got to stay. So, you've got the whole list right there. Anyway, as far as what's happening now, though, there's already 7 people scheduled for next year. So the first execution of the year is on Dr. King's birthday, January 15th. They're going to execute somebody. So happy MLK Day, huh?
Yeah, well, that's the irony of the state of Texas. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it big, you know?
And Trump had scheduled 5 federal executions. Fortunately, the Supreme Court has squashed that. But he had one on Martin Luther King Day as well.
You remember Toys R Us went bankrupt, but hypocrisy or us is really booming. So Trey, let's go to Trey for a moment.
Okay.
Trey, what got you interested in this death penalty, abolishing the death penalty work? Talk to us.
Well, I guess I've always, from a young age, it never sat well with me. Growing up, I've always been objective and kind of going against the grain, and people, you're always thinking different. I've never went with the mainstream way of
Good for
thought.
you.
And so, but I guess I always question things. Why are we doing this? Why? It never sat well with me. And so as I've becoming more and more aware and learning and coming to different spaces, I found Gloria, and more so, and even with the death penalty and even prison abolition period, and so just learning about that, and I'm wanting to gain the landscape of Houston, gain the history. I feel like a sponge. I'm just learning so much. I'm not behind. I feel like I'm right where I need to be to get a lot of people. Both of you all have been at this, and so I want to continue it, and I don't, and not get caught up in hashtags. It's a long and enduring fight, and I'm willing to step into the ring now.
Well, I like that, Trey, where you said not getting caught up in hashtag. Many people feel they can be in their basement or in their room and send out a tweet, and not the social media doesn't have its place. But there's nothing like putting some boots on the ground and putting some leather and some things that you got to do. And there's nothing like even signing actual paper petitions and dropping off that, not just an electronic file being sent to somebody, but when you walk in with boxes full of signed petitions, it has its effect. And also, you're making human connections in the movement. And I'm glad that you're open to learning. There's always nuances, Gloria doesn't buy into everything I believe in, and I don't necessarily buy into everything she believes in, but we believe in buying into justice and what's right. And I have been a spiritual advisor to 2 death row inmates and watch them be put to death. That was an experience that I don't never want to experience again, because it almost sent me into a psychological spiral. Because to watch 2 men that you actually believe were innocent, the French proved and showed through scientific evidence and hiring forensic investigators that Odell Barnes was in fact innocent, but they executed him on March the 1st, 2000. And Shaka Sankofa, they never let the evidence really be heard. And it was Clarence Thomas that actually sentenced him to death when it went up to the Supreme Court the day of his execution. His vote could have stayed that execution, where we could have let the evidence be heard in the lower courts. And so I watched a man give the most eloquent speech that I've ever heard a man give. And now I understand I'm a Farrakhan partisan, brother. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. But it was so eloquent, Minister Farrakhan took the centerfold of our newspaper and put Shaka's words in the centerfold. Wow.
His last words.
His last words. That's how powerful it was. So, Trey, we welcome you to the struggle. Know that the struggle is going to be long-term. It's not short-term. Right. And you have to make all of the circuits, one of them being, of course, Kwanzaa, because it's a Hibarigani, which is unity. This is the first time is unity. And this, I want to leave you with this. Unity without uniformity.
Right.
Unity without uniformity. If we have a central focus on something we're trying to accomplish, we don't have to all wear the same uniform. We have different roles, different responsibilities, but it's all to the main idea or the main thing that we're trying to goal or thing we're trying to accomplish. Glow, tell us some more. What's going on with you? I don't know how much time I've got between myself and going back to Pledge Central, or not Pledge Central, but going back to, of course, KPFT. And those of you out there in listening land, come on over to 3611 Ennis. This is the first night of Kwanzaa. We're at the KPFT table. Come on over here and you can make a pledge, fill out a pledge. We've got archives, the Malcolm X archives. We got the women of the Civil Rights Movement. We've got From the Vault, Pacifica Archives from the Vault, Campus Campaign subject set. We got the Black History Month. We got books. You want to come by here and get you something. But Gloria, go ahead and close this segment out.
Well, let me just say a couple of things. One thing that we just got finished sending holiday cards to everybody on death row in Texas, to the 28 men, there wasn't any women, who were juveniles, who were taken off by the Supreme Court in 2005, and some of our friends who got life sentences. And Nathan Williams, if you're listening, I love you. I'm going to see you Sunday. And Spider, I can't come see you tomorrow because I'm getting a new refrigerator and they're delivering it. Anyway, we spent a whole night, right, signing Christmas holiday cards.
I was actually amazed. I thought it was. I was like, this can't. Are we? At first, I thought we were writing it to all the prisoners, and when she said these are the people, all the people on death row, we signed for hours.
We did
cards, and that really was an humbling moment to me.
The prison system just made a decision that no prisoner can get cards.
What?
No, not a birthday card, not a sympathy card, not a
postcard,
any kind of card.
Why?
or postcard.
Why?
They said people are soaking them in drugs. I don't know.
Make it up. Throwing it up against the wall. You know, something will stick.
Yeah. So this goes into effect March 1st. So we're going to send out the January, February, and the March birthdays early. And then after that, we'll have to figure out what to do.
I have to send letters.
Yeah. We'll figure out something.
Oh, you know we will.
And everything that goes in has to be on white paper in a white envelope. The white paper can have lines, but nothing else on it.
White power.
I guess that's what they're aiming for. White power.
White power, baby.
But anyway, our first meeting of the new decade will be January 7th, Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month, 7 o'clock at Shape Center. We're going to be in the Martin Luther King Parade on Monday the 20th with the original Martin Luther King Parade.
Hello.
Hello, Ovid. We miss you.
We miss you, Ovid.
And lots of stuff planned. We'll be going to Huntsville on the 15th on Dr. King's birthday to protest the execution of a man named John Gardner. And John, if you're listening, we hope there's a stay coming down.
All right. Well, to all of you out there listening to us behind the pine curtain, whether it be in Livingston or Huntsville, know that we send our best out to you and continue to, in any way, shape, or form, to continue to think positive and to send out your best regards to us because your information, your ideas are important to us. It's important to young Trey, who is now picking up the mantle from us elders in training. We're elders in training. But we very much appreciate you, Gloria, and the work that you're doing. How can people get in touch with the movement?
We're on Facebook at the Texas Death Penalty Abolition Movement. You got to put the in front because somebody stole their old page. Or you can call me 713-503-2633. 713-503-2633. Or just come to our meeting first Tuesday of every single month for the last 25 years.
All right.
Boy, that's about how old you are.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. Okay, we're going to go back to KPFT. And what we got? We got one more? Oh, okay. I got one more here. So we got to do what we got to do. Want to thank Gloria Rubeck, of course. Thank you for my final call. I love it. All right. We got Ali Muhammad in the house. And we've got a event coming up that I don't think any of us want to miss. And this is another Mike Clark and Ali Muhammad production in partnership with Shake Community Center at the Almena building. This will be on Saturday, January the 4th. Saturday, January the 4th at 4 p.m. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Queen Mother Jean Wilkins Denver commemorative program celebrating their works in the system of racism and white supremacy. This is a pre-recorded video presentation of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing in Houston, live in 2014. And of course, we got plenty of footage of Mother Denver coming in here. So, with us right now, we got Brother Ali Muhammad. He's one half of Ali Muhammad and Mike Clark. Brother Ali, there's a heck of a way to start off the new decade and the new year with Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and Mother Jean Wilkins Denver. Brother, that's some hard hitting right there.
Well, thank you, Brother Student Minister, for allowing us to appear here on the radio. But as you say, it is most definitely a blessing from God. We believe it's a blessing from God to come in contact with these two individuals as they came through this life. And we're starting the year off right on the 4th. Right now we're at Kwanzaa, and then a couple of days later, 6 days later after this, and then plus 4 more in January, the 4th, we'll be at Shape again, Shape on Alameda, commemorating the works of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and one of her excellent students, Queen Mother Denver. And we look forward to it and look forward to having everyone out. And it's going to be an open and a frank discussion about racism, white supremacy. And some of you may see it on me talking about that on Facebook and radio and so forth. But you can come out and hear Dr. Welsing for yourself via tape and Mother Denver. So we'll deeply appreciate that, Dr. Halim.
You know, brother, so talk about this, you know, I can tell you, brother, 80s, the 90s, kind of tailed off a little bit, where we would have these kind of events. We would bring in these luminaries, and we would bring them in, and we'd sell tickets. We'd have vendors. We'd do that, and it was like a consciousness raising. We know that technology has kind of changed that somewhat.
That's right.
But nonetheless, why do you and Brother Mike continue to persist to do these kind of things, brother? Tell the audience who might not appreciate what God is stirring in your soul.
Well, number one, as you say, technology is always on the move. Technology is always changing things. But we also need to come and look at each other in the face, and touch each other, and discuss frank and open. We can always pull her up on a computer, on Facebook, so forth, on YouTube, and listen to her and Mr. Millie Fuller. But we have to look each other in the face at some point and get the message out clear to ourselves first and then to one another abroad. Because if we just stay locked up in our own cocoon, we're going to be beautiful like a butterfly. But a butterfly has short life. So we want to spread the word from one brother to another one, from one sister to another one. You know, now you like what's that group you like? The
Hey, watch your mouth. Don't blaspheme. The Delphonics.
Delphonics.
All right.
He loves the Delphonics, man, and listening to his show. He loves the Delphonics. And we also know he could dance. And he could dance even more when he was in the grave, if you want to say that. Mm-hmm. Dancers will move from New York to Texas in a matter of days. Now, if you tell me black people can teach each other how to moonwalk in a matter of days, how to do the hustle, the jerk, the James Brown.
The tighten up.
In a matter, they was doing, when I was doing it here, the doctor was doing it in New York.
That's right.
So, where we are merely saying that we should be able to communicate with each other about racism and white supremacy and not miss a beat. From here to New York, from New York to California. You know how far apart that is? But they do the same dance. So if we could do it, if you can do it through dancing and jiving, if you want to use that word, we can do it preaching the gospel. And this is most definitely a gospel.
It's some good news.
Some good news. And we have to be clear, Brother Robert. Mr. Millie Fuller wrote the definition in 1953. There has There's not been any other definition on racism, white supremacy. We can go to Webster dictionary, and we're gonna come out more confused. I don't know is Webster. I don't know. And Dr. Halim is well read. Who is Webster? Who is this guy?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I heard of Daniel Webster, but I don't know which this Webster is that define these words for us.
Yeah,
Right.
and we could define our own words. We have had leader after leader after leader after leader, and all of them but saying basically the same thing. Get up and do for self.
All right. That's Ali Muhammad, and again, in partnership with Shape Community Center and his partner, Mike Clark. So be at the Alameda building. That's 3903 Alameda. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Queen Mother Jean Wilkins Demba commemorative program celebrating their works in the system of racism, white supremacy. Pre-recorded video presentation of Dr. Cress Welsing when she was here in 2014, and we got more footage than the law allow of Mother Jean Demba. She'll always be with us. I love that voice of hers, and that she was just a mother to us all.
Yes.
But for more information, you can call 346-228-2579 or 832-453-5588. Again, that's 346-228-2579 and 832-453-5588. Ali Muhammad and Mike Clark here at the first night of Kwanzaa. Umoja.
Umoja.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
All right. Going to send it back now to Akua Hope back there at the little radio station that could, KPFT. We got one more. We're going to go back to her. Okay. Going back to you right now, Akua.
No, man, I'm not doing that. I need my battery. Hey, take a picture of me and my boo box lambs over here. Come here, Poppy. Come around here and take a picture with me. Come here, take a picture with me. Come on, Daxie. Come around here and take a picture with me and Come on. You want to take a picture with me?
Baby, hungry.
Come on, man. Come here, soul. Oh. Look at mama. Look at mama. Say cheese, man. Say cheese, man. Say cheese. Say cheese. Say cheese. And please. Say cheese and please. Yeah, I got me. You know what I did.
You still have a school? Do you have a school at the mosque? You have a school at the mosque? Oh,
We do.
I wish I did.
We do. We got a school at the mosque and another one off site, like in Southwest. It's a larger school, believe it or not. A large amount of children. We're gonna do that thing. What's that? That spin thing?
Is this your son? It's your son?
My grandson.
You only got one?
Two. The other one that I had on my lap.
Oh,
my
that's
other
your grandson too?
Say, man. I didn't know who you was. Your daddy cut off his beard, man. Hey. Your daddy cut off his beard, man. He's clean chin Muhammad. Look at him. Look at him. Yep, I used to bring them along. This is my second oldest son. I used to drag him along to Kwanzaa.
Really?
And now he's bringing his sons. So I'm like living vicariously through them. You see yourself? Ding dong. Ding dong.
He started acting weird.
Huh?
He started acting, he tired. He started acting funny.
That's your water? Drink your water. Take your water with you. You saved me some food? No? You got it all? Oh. You drink it all? No, you didn't drink it all. You drank some of it? No, I got some right here. No, I'm not putting it in there. You done, all your backwashes in there, man. You done drank off that. Backwash. They call backwash in there. One sip? You ain't got no one sip. You drank on the whole bottle there, black man.
Oh, Daddy drinks that.
Daddy did that? So now I'm gonna drink your daddy's backwash.
I got both of them.
What did you watch last night, man? What did you watch last night in Papa's room? What did you watch? When you was watching TV? Get your hands out your pocket.
I was watching Bunny Invader.
Who?
Bunny Invader.
Buddy and Vader?
No, Bunny.
Buddy? Buddies and Vader? And who's the last name? Vader?
No, Bunny.
Say, Wazir.
It's Bunny. Bunny Rabbit Invader.
Look at you, man. We're gonna have to lose this weight, man.
Rabbit.
I can't-
It's called Rabbit Invader.
Robert and Vader? The dancing machine, brother. Just shooting them jabs. You shooting them jabs out.
How you doing?
You take karate? Why would you not gonna take her riding?
I don't want to.
Why?
I don't know.
See, that's not good that you don't know. You need to know why you don't want to do something or why you want to do something. Does that make sense? You gotta know why. Huh? Okay, Sue. We got Deloitte? Huh? 805? Okay. Okay. All right, welcome back. We're here at the Third Ward Multipurpose Center. I'm your brother, Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, the host of Connect the Dots. My co-host, of course, is a co-host. She's at the little radio station that could, KPFT. And she is the host of Pan African Journal. Comes on every Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on 90.1 FM. With me right now, I have someone who has, for the last 32 years, been hosting Kwanzaa on the island of Galveston, the Neocultural Center. She is Sue Johnson, and she's here with us, joining us this evening here at Kwanzaa. Sister Sue, Habari Gani, Umoja, how are you this evening?
I am good.
You're good? So tell us now, we know we got stuff getting ready to go on down there in a city of Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about what you'll be hosting there this year in Galveston for Kwanzaa week.
Well, we're actually hosting 2 nights of Kwanzaa. We're doing this Saturday night, Ujima, and the next night, or 2 nights for Kwanzaa. The first night we're doing the traditional Kwanzaa ceremony. We'll have drumming and dancing and storytelling and the traditional things that we do, remembering our ancestors, and a lot of edutainment, as Sister Akua would say.
Edutainment, that's what I'm talking about. Now, you've been doing this for 32 years, and you're away from the quote-unquote big city of Houston, but yet you've still kept that cultural connection, and we always have you as part of what we call our citywide celebration. We always include Galveston, what's going on in Galveston. Tell us how Kwanzaa and the movement, if you will, has kept you connected through events like this, because you not only do things during Kwanzaa, you also do things during the year.
Yes. Yeah, I got my cultural consciousness from right here in Houston with coming to my first Kwanzaa celebration in like 1976 at Shape Center, and I met at the time not only Deloitte Parker, but Baba Shango and Ernie McMillan and Judon Boney. At the time, Judon Boney, not Ernie McMillan was president of Black United Front. So that was a long time ago. And they invited me to a workshop, and I'd never heard people talk about black people with such pride, confidence, and courage. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing and hearing. And I then came to a Kwanzaa celebration, my very first Kwanzaa celebration, like in 1977. And I just was on fire for more information, more consciousness, the kind of people that I'd run into who were courageous and not fearful of speaking in terms of black. So that kept me coming. I've been coming every year. I've gone with Deloitte to Africa, to our children. We founded and established Neocultural Center after having come to Shape Center and been in the company of people like the Black United Front back in the day. And I've just been on fire for it ever since, and tried to bring more consciousness to my own community.
So tell us again, because KPFT does reach down in Galveston, and we want to tell them exactly what's going on, when they can hook up, when they can come down, when Kwanzaa is coming to G-Town or the G-Island. Tell them about that.
Kwanzaa at Old Central Cultural Center this coming Saturday. Beginning at 4 o'clock, we open our marketplace, and then at 5 we start the celebration. One of Houston's finest will be giving our keynote address, Dr. Cherry Gooden from Texas Southern
Oh, my
University.
goodness. Woo.
Yeah, she'll be there. And we'll have Say Hi Youth Fitness. It will be there drumming for us and doing some things with us, as well as some local talent. We have our Children's Defense Fund Freedom School that Nia Cultural Center operates every summer, and those youth will be performing as well.
Tell me more about you said Africa. You went over to Africa with Deloitte. Was it the Gambia? Where did you go?
We went to at the time it was still Senegal and
You went to
Gambia.
Senegal and Gambia.
And the Gambia. Now they've combined them. They're Senegambia. So.
Senegambia.
Yeah.
I remember, you know something, I'm telling you, it was in 1999 at the Roots Festival there in the Gambia. We were there, a Nation of Islam delegation was there to dedicate the Alex Haley Mosque and School in the village of Jufure.
Jufure, yes.
And I left there, and then I came back to the hotel, and there was a Shape Manor.
Yes.
You
didn't expect it?
Sue, I thought maybe the bus had crashed and I died and went to heaven, or I went someplace else and my punishment or my reward was going to Shape. You know, some people, I'm going to be good because I want to go to heaven. Some people want to be good because they want to go to Shape. But that was the funniest thing. I said, I can't believe this. These people follow me around, and sure enough, we experienced that together as they established the Shape Center in the Gambia. In the Gambia. So that, again, that's a wonderful experience. Not only does it stretch from Houston to Galveston, but from Houston, Galveston, all the way to Gambia and Senegal.
For real.
That's it.
I was there too.
Woo!
Went to the Roots Festival.
Man,
That's where I saw, well, of course, Deloitte was there, and they did. Shape was everywhere, and they much appreciated that.
So
too.
1999. That was 1999. So now, here we're going into a new decade and a new year. So give us a phone number or something where we can contact you, a website address or email address where we can contact you.
You can find us at niacultural.org or at 409-457-8955. Our events are on the Kwanzaa Coordinating Committee calendar as well. So all of our events are.
So we can go to shape.org, and you can get more information on what's going on right there in Galveston.
Yes.
I won't sing that Glenn Campbell song, but Galveston. But it's very historic, brothers and sisters, that we go there because the souls and the spirits of our ancestors, that was one of the ports. When they imported our enslaved Africans, and they exported the cotton that we picked in Texas. So it's a very unique place. Yeah. Sue Johnson, want to thank you for coming and being a Nia Cultural Center, Galveston Island. All right.
Always good to be with you.
Always good to be with you also. I see over there OG1. Of course, we see OG1. You got Brother Eric? Yeah, well, I'm going to stay here right now. And so we're still here again. Come to 3611 Ennis. 3611 Ennis. And right now I have with me, and bring me a flyer. I have with me right now, and this is going to be, it's just a wonderful thing. Let's get them earphones right, Brendan. One of them flyers. Bring me one of her flyers. Give me one of the flyers off the table. Thank you. Okay, so we're here again at 3611 Ennis, and this is the first night of Kwanzaa. And I have the pleasure of having at these microphones a sister named Brendalyn Gill. She may be new to you all, but she's not new to me. People who organize and are part of the struggle, they're going to make their mark. So this may be her debut on this version of Connect the Dots Pan-African Journal, but it's not her first rodeo. Also with me is the Assistant Minister of Muhammad Mosque number 45, Brother Eric Muhammad, who in a few days will be joining a delegation as they go to make the minor pilgrimage, or Umrah, to the holy city of Mecca in the very near future. So this might be an eclectic mix to you all, but again, this is, when we say Habarigani, we say Umoja, which is unity. And unity is without uniformity. It's people who have the same idea. So let me go to Sister Brendolyn. On the MLK weekend, there's something that we don't want to talk about. There are many things that we don't talk about in the black community. Incest. Yeah. We don't like talk about that. And mental health. We all got those uncles at the family reunion, and we see one of our little nieces or daughters going to sit on their lap. We say, no, baby, come here. Don't sit on that lap. And a lot of times in our families, we don't talk about incest or molestation. Another thing is that we, in a sense, seem to not want to admit that the pressures of life have caused us to have chemical imbalances or for our thinking to be malfunctioning in terms of just normalcy. It's hard to be normal in this society. So on MLK Day, there's going to be a mental health day. This is January 2020. And so we want her to talk about that. It's going to take place at McGregor Park, 12 to 5 p.m. And so tell me, Sister Brendolyn, why did you put this together and who's going to be part of this great event?
Well, first I want to say I'm so honored to have this opportunity. This energy at this table is incredible. And I enjoyed visiting the mosque on this last. I'm going to be back this Saturday. Count on it, okay?
All right.
So I put this event actually was in a seed for me to birth 2 years ago. I had the entire event and the funding approved, and I was at a point in my life where I was unable to deliver. And that kind of led me on a spiritual journey. This whole year, I've been working on my spiritual progress and getting to know myself and what pieces of my life were imbalanced. And it came up again. So I, for me, it's fool me once, fool me, can't get fooled again. So I'm going to go ahead and do something with this. And it's been a passion project for the last half of this year. I got together, we have Tiffany Nelson from Imagery. And she's not a name that you hear all the time, but she's out there. This weekend she's going to have a literacy event at the Garden. Okay, by the Palm Center. So she does a socio-emotional piece in literacy. We're going to have Mr. John Robinson from the Urban League. He's going to come out. He's over education and special projects with them. And he has the Read and Rise program with Barbara Bush Foundation. Elwin Lee, he's going to come out from University of Houston. He just became VP of the Chancellor's Office and strategic partnerships with the neighborhoods. Y'all know Deloitte Parker,
of course.
Shape Center.
Of course.
We had to have one of the fathers of Shape Center come out, and I was so wow. That made my day when he agreed to do that. Angelina Hudson's coming from the National Association of Mental Illness. She's over education programs there, and last but certainly not least, Dr. Douglas, President of NAACP. I'm so honored to have him sit on my panel.
Okay. So what's the date? What date?
It's on MLK Day, January 20th, on Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Yes, it is on Tuesday. We had to get permission from Mr. Sylvester, not Mayor Sylvester, but Mr.
Sylvester Brown.
Sylvester Brown to have that day from the city of Houston. And we're actually gonna, my goal, and I won't give up until it happens, is to benefit the Martin Luther King Community Center with 4 figures before this is all over.
So the
with.
MLK Center that's over on Sampson?
You better know it.
All right now.
Okay.
That's the tray.
Praise.
The third ward. I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Well, this is Brendolyn Gill. You're going to be hearing and seeing a lot of her. As you know, they say a rising tide lifts all boats. And she says she's going to take care of her business. She's going to take care of business, and so she's plugged all the holes in her boat so the rising tide don't drown her. doing that piece. And so we're going to flip the script real quick, and we're going to go from MLK Day and mental health to talking about fulfilling an aspect of our religious pillars, which is to make a pilgrimage to Mecca. More than a journey. Brother Eric has been my assistant for some years now, but he's been in the mosque how long now, brother?
24 years.
24 years. He joined at the time of us ramping up for the Million Man March. He's been my assistant for quite some time and an invaluable member of Muhammad Mosque number 45. And I always say to everybody without fear of contradiction that if I could, I'd put his name on my master's and my PhD diploma because he held the house together while I was seeking more knowledge in terms of urban planning and environmental policy. But that being said, Brother Eric, talk about your preparation for yourself, and also another representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan will be traveling with you as part of this delegation. So talk about this intense training that or presentation that you've gone through in preparation for your Umrah to Mecca.
Yes, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, first
Wa alaikum
of all.
salam.
And thank you for having me on into your listening audience. You know, the beautiful thing about it is that the minister said to us that make your intentions before you go, right? What's in your mind, because you're not going there to find your intention. You make it before you go. So what I've done was treated Hajj or Umrah as a part of the journey, right? It's something connected to it. 'Cause you know how sometimes we'll take a vacation, and then when you come back, you need another vacation?
For your vacation.
For your vacation.
Right.
So how long do we allow this energy to last? So this trip should last a lifetime, right? So I'm making it a part of what I'm already doing, right? The minister said that is our home. You know, we're not going on a sightseeing tour, right? Everything that we're going over there for the ritual perspective, we are fulfilling in America. You know, so if many don't make that journey, we're already on the journey, right? But it's just a blessing that we have this opportunity to go, you know? So I'm treating it as a part of the bigger journey. This is why when you go to Umrah, Allah says in the Quran, fulfill the rites of Hajj and Umrah. So Umrah is not necessarily lesser of the two, right? We say it's the lesser of the two only because of the idea that it doesn't take the place of Hajj. But in truth, Umrah is just as important Quranically as Hajj is, because Allah says make both of them, complete both of them, right? So I'm treating it as a part of the greater Umrah that it's a part of everything that I'm doing in life, right? So that when I come back, you know, it's a greater energy and spirit because I'm going to get involved in what the minister said, get inside of the rituals to ascertain the truth, right? So I'm going to get inside that to get those truths that are there for us, you know, by going and understanding the rituals.
So the beautiful thing about it is, and us talking about this, and it may seem like an eclectic mix to our listening audience, but the theme of this night of Kwanzaa is Umoja, which is unity. And it's not the Nation of Islam delegation going, though two very, I consider very important members of the Nation of Islam are going with this tour, but it also has been put together by Master W.D. Muhammad, which is people would think that we are somehow separate and apart from, but we're showing greater unity by involving ourselves in those very rituals that people would think would separate us. So talk about that for a moment, and
Yes.
Imam Wazir Ali.
Yes, you know, I've known, he's been a longtime friend of mine that I've known since college. And, you know, we've created a relationship, a bond, through our beloved late Imam Qasim Ahmed, may Allah be pleased with him, in the work that you all did here in the city of Houston and in the prisons. And he became our Arabic teacher. And in studying Arabic in 2000, we began to create a beautiful relationship with one another. And in 2002, when we were in Los Angeles, I saw the Imam out at a restaurant with his entourage, and I went over, and one of the brothers who was there remembered me from doing my first recitation. And so the Imam asked me to come sit beside him, and I went and sat beside the Imam, and he patted me on my leg about 3 or 4 times, and he said, "You know we're coming back together, brother. You know we're coming back together, brother." And it reminded me of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at the time: "You and my son Wallace go mop up the wilderness of North America." Well, the Imam is no longer with us. And I thought about that. And it's not necessarily just 2 people. It could also represent 2 communities, right, who never split or shedded any blood during that particular time of the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We had our differences, our disagreements, but you see us coming back together and uniting. And it's such an honor to be able to go with my brother and the delegation, Brother Imam Wazir Ali, I'm speaking of, Dr. Imam Imam Wazir Ali, because we've been together for over 19 years. And to share this together is a great, great, great opportunity.
So also this Sunday, we've got another one who is going to be traveling with you is our Baltimore representative, Mosque number 6, Brother Student Minister Carlos Muhammad,
Yes.
will be our guest at Muhammad Mosque number 45, our guest lecturer, 4443 Old Spanish Trail, 10 a.m. We want to make sure that you be there and be a part of that. But he also will be traveling with you with the permission of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Talk about our brother and how much we're looking forward to seeing him. And we won't tell you his favorite restaurant, but well, we know where he's going, where we go when we get here.
Yes.
But talk about our brother and his relationship of bridge building along with our brother, the international representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan Nation, Brother Akbar Muhammad, Abdul Akbar Muhammad, and how he has been bridge building, because last time he was here was the ISNA conference.
Yes.
Of the Muslims that gather from around the country and around the world that came here, and he was here for that.
Yes, you know, one thing that in Baltimore, Mosque number 6, is truly a model of what we are doing here in the city of Houston, you know, with his relationship with Imam Earl, and them sharing Jum'ahs together, and Brother Carlos leading the prayers over, and Imam Earl coming over to the mosque. So they too have a great relationship with one another. And also our beloved Imam Sultan Rahman. You know, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said, Brother Carlos mentioned to me that the minister said to him and Imam Sultan, "Don't let air get between you two," right? To be connected with one another. And it's such an honor and privilege to really get into the essence of learning the history of Islam. And that's one thing I love about Brother Carlos being the Nation of Islam archivist, you know, and loving and bringing that history of the pioneers. He also said to me that this year will represent, from 1960, was that 60 years. It represents 60 years when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad went over to the Middle East in 1960. So just to take this trip with our beloved brother and knowing that history, you know, is absolutely phenomenal.
All right. Well, we have, again, Brother Eric Muhammad, Brother Student Minister Eric Muhammad. He's Assistant Minister, Muhammad Mosque number 45. And we have Brandolyn Gill. She is an organizer, and we're looking forward to her, the MLK Mental Health Day and Literacy Summit. That's on January the 20th in 2020, and we're looking forward to that taking place. So we're going to do what we got to do. And are we still on here? We're waiting on Mr. Parker. Go get Mr. Parker for me as we're going forward. Now, again, we're at 3611 Ennis. Still plenty of time left on this first night of Kwanzaa. I'm here broadcasting live as we normally do. I want to thank KPFT and its management. Once again, want to make sure that you put this on your calendar. Sunday, February the 9th, 5 p.m., Shake Community Center, 3903 Alameda. Remember, this is Black History 365 lecture series, The Roots of Slavery and White Supremacy and Capitalism, featuring Dr. Gerald Horn, esteemed scholar, activist, author, and attorney and historian. You don't want to miss this. He comes on Connected Dot. You hear him all the time. He's our resident scholar. This man's written more books. I don't know. He's got more. Every time he got a book in the pipeline, remind me of the movie Alien. Going aliens, all that. So right now we're going to go back to KPFT, and we're going to pass back to Akua Holt as we leave you here from the Third Ward Multipurpose Center, Habari Ghani, which means unity. Unity is the call of the day. Umoja, unity. Back to you, Akua.
Wow. To Mecca we go. Yes, we are. You did.
In the bathroom.
She came over here. I gotta use the restroom.
In the bathroom.
Mic check, 1,
Mic
2.
check, 1, 2.
Mic check.
Mic check, 1,
Mic
2.
check.
Testing one.
Mic check, 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Red, black, and green.
You know what I mean.
And keep talking, I might even scream.
Oh, Lord. Y'all off the chain. On 5? All right, Habarigani Umoja, which is unity. We're here again at the first night of Kwanzaa, 3611 Ennis at the 3rd Ward Multipurpose Center. And I have the honor and the privilege of bringing on these sacred airwaves two of my colleagues, my comrades, my friends, my brothers in struggle. I can't imagine having this 32-year trek that I've had as student minister of Muhammad Mosque number 45 without these brothers, and the uniqueness for the history of how we have worked together as Pan-Africanists, nationalists, and Nation of Islam, Muslims, how we have worked together for the greater good. I have the esteemed pleasure of introducing to some, presenting to others, Brother Deloyd Parker, the Executive Director of Sheikh Community Center. For the last 50 years has been the United Nations of the black community, where any group, regardless of creed or class, could come and meet. And it's been the birthplace of movements in this city. And also across from me is now the, I don't even like using the interim, Executive Director of KPFT, but he has been the chairman of the National Black United Front. He's been one of the leaders along with Ernest Muhammad, may Allah forever be pleased with him, of the Free Clarence Brantley movement. Has been instrumental in many, many struggles. And so I have here at the microphone two pillars of our struggle in this community, at least for the decades that I have engaged in the work, Brother Deloyd Parker and the Reverend Judon Boney. Want to welcome y'all. Habarigani.
Umoja.
Habarigani.
Umoja.
All right. Brother Deloyd, talk about it. We're here again, brother, once again, and look at what's going on here.
Man, when I got here this afternoon, or this evening rather, they had about 30 people here. Just vendors. And now this place is filled to capacity right now. So it lets me know that Kwanzaa has taken on a life of its own.
Yes.
It's not just Kwanzaa for us, it's Kwanzaa for everybody. And it's a positive experience. I mean, just walking around here and seeing people, it's a reunion, man. Brother Judon, it's a reunion. I see people I haven't seen. Sister Fueco's sons who grew up through Shape Center, Jackie's sons who grew up through Shape Community Center. I've seen 4 generations who come through here, man. So it was just so wonderful to see all these people coming, and nothing but good things to say about what we've done, Judon.
Righteous spirits.
Minister Abdul Alim Mohammed, nothing but good things coming down from the mouths of a lot of people. So I'm excited. I'm just so, oh boy, I am really turned on by what I experienced tonight. And I was just wondering, I said, we had a children's Kwanzaa today at Shape Center. And I did a television show just before that. Then another television station came by Shape to interview us and see our children's Kwanzaa right after that. Then we got set up for this Kwanzaa, and we're preparing for the next Kwanzaa tomorrow at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. So we really, I'm proud of what we have collectively done to make Kwanzaa. And guess what? Dr. Maulana Karinga called me yesterday and told me that Shape Center of Houston, Texas, had the most successful Kwanzaa celebration in the country.
Wow.
That's real.
That's
big. That the founder himself, that's big.
That's right. I mean, because he's been all over. In fact, he's on a tour right now.
Right.
And he said every time he's gone, he's never seen a Kwanzaa celebration, because you know that what we've done in Houston is embrace those 7 principles in practice.
That's right.
Not just, we don't just celebrate the principles, we
live
practice those principles.
That's right.
And that's the most important thing. So I'm excited about it. And when I see Brother Judon, I know about the history that we've had with the Clarence Brantley case, and when we raised hell and got him elected on city council, and he became the mayor pro tem, and oh man, we've had some victories, man.
That's right.
Had some victories.
Judon, talk to us, man, because I'm sitting down there running my mouth, but
I was thinking today, you know, there's a book that's been published on Mickey Lee. It's called In This Land of Plenty by Dr. Ben Talton. It's out of Temple University in Philadelphia. He came to the archives and made a home there, going through those documents. The book is extraordinary. It is an analysis, not just of Mickey, but of Mickey's political work how he crafted his political understanding of our struggle as a people. And I mean, we're bringing Ben Tarleton to Houston. In fact, we've got him booked the second weekend in February. And we've got Dr. Horn from U of H the 1st of February. This is December. We're not doing this at the last minute anymore.
Is it a lecture series?
It's a lecture series. And you know what? Accord came up with the idea. We're just going to do this 365 days a year. We're not limiting ourselves to the shortest month in the year anymore. And, we got a radio station, so we got to turn it up.
We got to turn it up.
And I think the people demand that we turn it up. I mean, we got to listen to the voice of the people. And I'm in 3rd Ward, I'm all over the city of Houston, in fact, and I hear the people saying, Minister, we got to turn it up. And to turn it up, we got to have, I need to hear you more, because you have one of the most progressive talk shows in this city. I should say the most progressive. I guess that has a lot to do with the host.
Well, it has to do with a lot. It has to do with my producer, Cora Hope, who has made me culturally conscious, and I don't mean in terms of Pan-Africanism, nationalism, but in terms of the performing arts.
Yes.
In bringing on, for instance, the ensemble, and Eileen Morris coming on in the different plays.
Yes.
And then she brings the flavor of the museums.
Right.
If we were to come to Houston as quote-unquote tourists, there's so much right next to what we call the Tray, the 3rd Ward, that people come from around the world to experience. The Johnson Space Center, right down 45. The largest medical center in the world, the Texas Medical Center. And now, what I consider to be the existential threat to the survival of 3rd Ward is this new Ion Center and this innovation corridor. It could have a devastating impact upon this if we don't address it head on and right away. And I just don't believe in putting tens of millions of dollars in Emancipation Park, changing the name of Dowling Street, which we should have done a long time ago, to Emancipation Avenue, bringing about all these improvement, bike paths and all that stuff, as if we're doing it for them other people. I don't accept that. A slave would accept that, but I don't accept that, because we have an opportunity through, I call 2020 where you can see things as they are. So 2020 for us is the second decade of this 21st century, but also represents for us, I call it the year of reaping. Because, brothers, we have sown. We have sown together for nearly 30 years, at least together. And now we're seeing the fruit of it when we see Jackie's son and other children come in, and even my grandchildren now. My son, I used to bring him to these Kwanzaas. Now he's bringing his sons to Kwanzaa. So I'm saying, oh my God, this is like 2 generations. Next to me is Brother John and his wife. I remember when they got married, they were part of when I first became minister in '87, and now their children are here and graduating from school and college. So what I'm seeing is a fact that we have sown. Now it's time to reap what we have sown and to sow some new seeds so that they may reap later, and we won't be just takers, we'll be givers also.
We need to invest in this land. We've got a new CEO, president of Unity Bank. She's an African-American woman. We see how could we not realize how valuable this land is that we own here? We've got to get our people together.
But we have to do something about it, brother. I think, let's be saying something, just like Kwanzaa, we celebrate the principles, but we need to practice the principles 24/7.
That's right.
And the same thing about what we're talking about now. We're talking about what's happening in 3rd Ward, what's happening in the inner city. And we can talk about it, but we have to put forth a movement to turn this stuff around. And I think some people are doing some things right now.
They are.
I know. And we need to acknowledge that. We need to recognize that. We need to be able to support those efforts. Because some things are coming out of this year, man. We're going to have some serious town hall meetings, but they're not just for the sake of meeting. We have to make some changes.
We have to organize. We got to get organized to get free. And something I've been driving in the car and I've been listening to Dr. Claude Anderson, and I'm going back to revisit Powernomics and all of that. And I was reading the economic blueprint of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I'm synthesizing. I think it's important for us, particularly on this night of Umoja, is, again, the other principles fall in our collective work and responsibility, Kujichagulia, which is, of course, self-determination, and, of course, our cooperative economics. These things are very important that we pull these things together and synthesize these various teachers, because when I was listening to him, I said, I don't see an inch between what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught and what he's been putting forth. So why would we not be as wise as the wino on the corner? He don't care what the label on the bottle say. He want to know, is there some wine in this bad boy, you know?
Yeah, I think we have to hold politicians accountable, and that's real. And it's not too late. In fact, we right on time.
Right.
We had some moves that were made recently in electoral politics, but we have to call a meeting with certain individuals and hold them accountable. Let them know what it is we want.
Right.
Because even though this may be your last term, hey.
That's 4 years.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot could happen in 4 years.
Right.
But it's not going to happen if we don't demand that it happen. Right. If we don't demand. So I think we have to move on that.
It has to be an I call it unapologetically black or community agenda.
It's going to.
There's unapologetic. We can't apologize. Nobody else apologizes. The insurance companies don't apologize. The oil and gas people don't apologize. The medical profession and people in the medical center, when they go up to Austin, they don't apologize. So why should we apologize for that which we know is in our own best interest?
We have to set the agenda. I mean, we're going to have to, because right now, if we don't do anything, somebody else will. In fact, somebody else is doing something.
Yeah. So look, go to shape.org if you want to get the rest of the schedule for Kwanzaa. And of course, on Saturday, I want to let you know Ujima, which is, of course, our collective work and responsibility. The Mosque 45, Muhammad University of Islam, and the Justice or Else Local Organized Committee, which is the extension of our local organized committee for the Million Man March, will be hosting Kwanzaa at the 3903 Alameda, the Harambe building. You make sure that you show up there. But look, go to shape.org. Not only those of you who listen to us in Galveston, make sure that you attend the NEA Cultural Center celebrations there. And those of you who are around the city, come on out and visit us at all of the different events. It's very important, brothers and sisters, that we begin to organize. We must be organized. Kwame Ture would say we must be organized. And if you can't find an organization that fits your particular desires, then create one. Right. But we must be organized. Brother Junan, talk about the importance of KPFT, even with the social media and the kind of technology there is today, why a terrestrial radio station is still important in 2020.
Well, we have to understand how KPFT came to be. During the activist years, the 70s, so to speak, a group of people said we need a different kind of radio network. We actually are part of a national network. We have stations in New York, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and Houston. That's a 5-station network. And our mission, the mission of the radio station, is to enlighten, to organize, to inspire. We're not a commercial radio station, so we don't have to worry about what advertisers may say. We are free. And it's a very powerful station. It's 100,000 watts. It covers the 5-county area surrounding Houston. And we're open 24/7. We never close. So I just urge people to go to our website and look at it. But, you know, stay in touch with the community because we're just getting started. This is my beginning of my 2nd week there. So we're going to work. I told KPFT folk that we wanted to thank KPFT because they increased my prayer life about tenfold. But, you know, the Lord is still working in the house.
That's it.
Yeah, it is.
That's it.
Yeah, well, look.
So as we go into 2020, Deloitte, in the 51st year of the Shape Community Center and its work.
51 years.
51 years, bro.
Where were you 51 years ago, Minister?
It was just being born.
No, man. I'm 63 now, so 63? I was in New York. I was finishing my last year in New York before my mother shipped me out to Jersey to save my life. That's a story in and of itself. But, you know, to be here doing this interview with you all, I don't want to take anything for granted. I think about our mother, Jean Wilkins Demba. You know, I think about Brother Omar Wali, a longtime struggler. I'm just thinking about those who have gone before us. And this is our legacy. It's tied up together. We've been hooked together by destiny. I don't know why Port Arthur and Houston and New York or New Jersey has brought us together in this space and time, but I thank God for being born in this space and time and for us being an example for the rest of the country. As you said, Dr. Karenga, but see, none of this would be possible unless you had a kind of a personal relationship we have that transcends ideological differences. We found a way through our love for each other to find more in common than we had apart.
That's right.
And I really credit SHAPE, and I think it's just as the Lord said it, SHAPE Center embodies the 7 principles because of this brother and who he has organized around him. And so it's been the foundation for our movement all over the city, all over the state.
The thing that makes me feel so good about it is that I got Jiran, we got Minister Muhammad as part of our team. You know, we got a hell of a team, man. I mean, think about it. We got a hell of a team. Brother Kofi, and the team is a powerful team. So we can't lose. We can fall down, but we can't lose. And because we going to get back up when we fall down.
Well, we have somebody to pick us back up because we have sown so many seeds. As I look around, I'm looking at my son.
Oh, yeah.
He's standing off over here. I've seen my grandchildren run around here. So I know that the investment that we have made, the SHAPE children that I see here, man, they're walking up to me, Minister, don't you know, I don't know who you are, who you is. And then they'll tell me my daddy was, I'm just shaking my head saying, man, you know something? I just thank God, really, honestly, for this opportunity to serve. And that's really what it's about, service. Right. And I look forward to 2020. Again, I'm affirming that this will be the year of reaping. What we've sown, we need to reap. We can't leave because if the harvest is ripe and we leave it on the vine, it'll rot. So we got to harvest what we have sown. And I say we, I'm using that collective. I want to make sure I don't want Deloitte to get mad at me. Not what we have sown in our work. And then we've got to sow some more seeds.
That's right.
Sow some more seeds. So, again,
I applaud you, man. You moved, you matriculated through up the ladder academically. You become, you bypass the petty bourgeois status and move to intellectual capacity. So,
well, you know, it's like this, brother. I'm like the Renaissance man. I have a PhD. You can't deny it. I earned it. I earned it the way everyone else earned it. This is no honorary. I paid a price. And trust me. I shed tears, many tears, doing this. So I need to close now, and I thank you, Brother Deloitte. But all of this is to serve. My PhD, my greatest title is student, because I'm still learning. Minister, servant. Doctor comes after that because whatever I've learned is to serve the people. And we talk about gentrification and all of that. You need to have a PhD in urban planning so we can address that properly. So that being said, I want to send it back to Akua Holt. I want to thank everyone for this first night of Kwanzaa. Thank the management and staff of KPFT and the Pacifica Network for once again cooperating and allow us to broadcast live this first night of Kwanzaa. So until next time and next year, brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you. Remember, they, them, and theirs can never overcome us, our, and we, as long as we subordinate I, me, and mine. Remember, we love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Till next time, assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you.
I wanted to commend Akua Holt. She's been doing a wonderful job, and we really appreciate her producing the show today.